Hello, welcome to the Nostalgia Hunters, episode 8. We're covering the WandaVision, episode 5 and 6. I got my trusty co-host, Dustin, from the Harry Man Show.
Hello.
Hello, Dustin. How are you, buddy?
Good. I think the show's definitely improved.
Bro, by leaps and bounds.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, again, this was the plan. Start slow and go big. So it's turning out really epic, actually.
Now I'm starting to see why they took the risk and released the first and second episode first.
Yeah, completely agree. It's just a nice little build-up, and then, the payoffs have been huge.
Well, it was a slow burn, so they figured, okay, we can get everybody in. Everyone's going to be totally confused.
What I've been doing, man, after watching these episodes, I've just been watching the Avenger movies, just trying to pick up a little details and stuff. It's been pretty crazy.
So we were discussing earlier that the Age of Ultron, they can't really do much with Scarlet Witch because I think her legalities were tied up with, Disney thing like that. So all her characters relating to her, they really couldn't expand into.
Totally, yeah. Just going back and watching Age of Ultron again, she was very timid, didn't have much of a role to say. She played some key parts, and it's very knowledgeable to go back and watch Age of Ultron and just see, basically her upbringing in the cinematic universe.
So she's also Russian there, too, for some reason.
Well, she's English now.
So would you say Vision had a bigger part of that movie than she did?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Vision, that was the creation of Vision. Ultron was his plan was to use Vision's body to take over the world, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I gotta go back and watch that, honestly.
I implore you to do so.
All right. So I think episode 6 is definitely better than episode 5. So we'll recap on 5 there.
So we see Billy and Tommy, accelerated aging. That's one of the biggest things. There was a pet, Sparky, which is actually, do you know about Sparky?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, so Sparky was the throwback from the comics when Vision actually had a made-up family.
Really?
Did you know about that?
No, I had no idea.
So he made up a family of androids.
Huh.
And Sparky was the family pet.
Was he an android himself or a real dog?
He was a real dog.
Oh.
Nice little real dog.
So now that I have a little more educated on what the boys do, so one obviously takes after Quicksilver, all 100%, right?
Basically, yeah.
And then I'm confused on what the other one does. Is he's pretty much like a...
So he's Wanda 2.0, I would say.
Okay, because I'm not trying to jump ahead, but he had premonitions and he was kind of in touch with other things.
Yeah, he's the witchcraft male version, I would say.
Jesus.
Pretty powerful young lad there.
Yeah. So going into episode 5, what was the biggest surprise to you?
Biggest surprise was the ending. Come on now. Evan Peters shows up. He's Quicksilver. A little callback to the Fox X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's your theory why they didn't have the original Marvel Quicksilver?
They couldn't pay him enough, man.
Because really?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think this is just a little Easter egg for. Well, you remember what we were talking about a couple episodes ago about how the X-Men, this WandaVision may be the key to ushering in the X-Men to Marvel Cinematic.
Well, now we know it is.
Well, yeah. So that was the callback. That was the main thing here.
But they even joked about the wrong Quicksilver in the show too, and they show clips of I can't say the last name, but
Evan Peters.
Yeah. No, is that his name?
The current one that's in the show, yeah.
Okay, yeah, the one that was in Ultron. They even show clips of him getting shot.
They do, yeah. So again, and I think we will see the Marvel Cinematic Quicksilver as well. I think we're going to see both of them at some point.
And now does that tie into a multiverse kind of thing, or?
Absolutely, I believe so. I think so. A little weird thing with Evan Peter and Vision showing up. Both of them show up as dead, corpses in the show. Maybe not in the same episode, but they show up as dead. So maybe I'm thinking she has the power to bring back dead people.
So you don't think Quicksilver's alive?
Not outside the Hex.
Huh. So that's kind of a turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's totally. It's thrilling and it's amazing and it's cool to watch.
So obviously they're starting to figure. I can't really remember too much about before he showed up, but that episode was taking place more in the
So
80s, right?
yeah, it was more like I would say the Michael J. Fox show,
Oh, turning.
Family Matters.
There it is.
Is that what it is?
No, I don't even think it's Family Matters, but
Which one is it?
turning the page or some crap. I don't know.
Oh, damn it. I used to watch that show all the time.
Um,
What kind of Michael J. Fox fan am I?
But Vision was challenging her though, quite a bit.
So towards the end, we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but towards the end, they actually leap to their powers and get ready to go toe to toe, and then the door gets knocked on, and we have Quicksilver.
So why do you think she let the dog die on purpose?
No. So remember what happened? The dog got out, and it ate the azaleas from.
Yeah, I understand that, but why didn't she bring the dog back? Or maybe she was trying to show the importance of life and death to her kids.
Yeah, so I think it's something to do with that. I also think that she didn't want them to think that they could change or make changes in her world. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because obviously the one son has her powers, so that's what I saw there.
Yeah, I completely agree. So after that dog dies, she gives them a speech about the death situation that we're just discussing.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to accelerate in age, which kind of stops them. And then Agatha Harkness shows up, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Agnes shows up, which I think Agnes is a throwback to Agatha Harkness, which is a witch that Wanda used to train or was trained under in the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then also, while we're talking about the kids, Billy and Tommy, they were created in the comics at the very least from Mephisto's soul shards.
Really?
So she inadvertently created them with the devil, basically. So there's lots of callbacks to that in episode 5 and episode 6.
So her and Quicksilver are still in belief that they were adopted. I mean,
well, at least I believe so. Yeah.
So they have no clue that Magneto's their father.
I don't.
But Quicksilver knew though, and no, he didn't know.
No.
Days of Future X Past, whatever it was.
No, I don't think it's known who their actual father is yet.
So that would be the big one for me if they tie it in like that.
I think it's coming. It's just a matter of time. You got to do it. You know, You got to.
And that would bring that. Well, is that what the House of M is?
Well, this whole thing is based on the House of M.
What's the overall story with that?
So to be honest, I don't know every single little bit, but I know that she creates this alternate universe, or at least her universe inside of our universe. And it just the hex. It just expands and expands, and mutants are created, mutants are silenced, mutants are killed. It's just a whole crazy, WandaVision, basically.
Basically, she becomes a dictator.
Basically.
So she's villainized in this show already.
Yeah, by the sword agent. He's not a nice guy. He has, to me, I believe he has alternate agendas, alternative motives.
I think he wants a weaponized Vision.
Yes, Hayward definitely has plans to weaponize Vision. They want to use his many body parts for multiple weapon functions.
But didn't Vision want something where no one can use it? What was it referring to?
Well, the Accord that the Avengers Accord, the Sokovia Accord, I believe is what it's called. He wasn't to be touched after he passes away. He didn't want to be used as a weapon. He didn't want to be brought back to life. None of that kind of stuff.
Huh. And did he know he was dying in Endgame?
No, I don't think he knew that for sure.
Huh.
But,
It kind of felt like he was. Well, I think we knew as viewers because the soul or the Mind Stone.
Yeah, outside the hex, he's not alive. He lives inside the hex, and we learn that in future episodes.
So going into the next one, which I think was a lot more visually appeasing.
Well, hold on real quick.
Oh, sorry.
Let's talk about how Wanda exited the hex and turned the agents' guns up back on them, sort of like Magneto did in the earlier X-Men films.
That's what got me excited right there.
Yeah, that was a really hot point right there.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
I think she's being villainized. Like I said, I think there's all this perspective to it. To what she's doing, she's trying to live her own little life and continue on like no one died on her.
Yeah, well, I think
and I can see the humane side of it.
I think she's over her head.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of bit off more than she could chew here, and it's really impacting her.
But she is torturing people mentally, though.
We're seeing that.
Yeah.
We're seeing Vision's coworker kind of flip out,
mm-hmm.
and he has to touch his temples and stuff, and kind of awaken him from the trance.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that he has a life outside of this thing, and he just wants to go home and be with his family and stuff. And I'm sure that's 99% of the population in there. They don't want to be there.
Yeah, but it's just like any kind of story. You always think you're on the right side of things.
Absolutely, yeah. She thinks she's doing the right thing. She thinks there's a purpose for her in this world, whether it's to feel better or to make changes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot going on.
So I mean, not to jump ahead on you, like we just mentioned, but how far do you think this hex is going to expand? Do you think it's going to go full House of M?
Yes, definitely. We're already seeing. Well, I mean, not to jump forward a little bit, but in episode 6, we see the hex expands towards the end of the episode there. So there's definitely more to this story for sure.
Oh yeah, because that one lady was referring to the circus she couldn't find, the holiday, and then we saw. I know we're getting ahead, but she saw those soldiers turn into the clowns.
The circus, all that.
So yeah, it's becoming a whole other realm to it. But
and then not to get too far, not to go too far back, but all the demon references that Quicksilver makes is another callback to Mephisto and the Soul Shards and the kids actually not being, Wanda's actual kids, just a figment,
Because isn't there a story about how a witch brought the kids back to life?
They do come back. I think we were discussing that off the show a little bit, but they do become an active part of the Marvel continuity.
So they are the Young Avengers, pretty much.
Yes, sir.
And Rambo, is she part of Young Avengers as well?
No, I don't think you'll see her a part of Young Avengers. I do think you'll see her in a Captain Marvel capacity. She does get some powers from this. They talk about it.
Yeah.
They talk about her entering the hex multiple times, and it's messing with her cell structure.
Well, wouldn't it be doing that to everybody in there already?
Potentially, yeah. We might end up with a whole bunch of
all the mutants. That's the mutant aspect of it.
There you go. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah. So there you go, the terraforming side of it.
Yeah. Also, in episode 5, they kind of do a little callback to Wanda breaking into the sword facility and taking Vision out of there too, which was pretty cool to see.
No, you can't really touch her at that point.
Absolutely, yeah.
So episode 6, I think, was a lot more visually appeasing, like I was said. I mean, it was the first time
it was really, really cool to watch. It starts out with the Halloween theme, which is...
Well, it was Malcolm in the Middle, right?
Yeah.
I love that show, so I kind of got exactly what they were doing right away.
How cool was it to see them come downstairs with their actual comic book costumes on, sort of?
Yeah, they were pretty spot on.
Yeah, it was really neat to see. Even the kids had their costumes from Young Avengers, kind of. Wiccan looked like the Wiccan from the comics, and then Speed looked like Speed from the comics. So minus the colors.
The headpiece she wears, is that an M? Is that what it really is?
Manifest. I think it's like a W.
That's kind of weird. I've always wondered that when I saw that.
Yeah. So they're getting ready to go out and get some candy and stuff, and then Vision kind of breaks from the pack.
Yeah, he played hooky.
He says he's got to go do some investigation with the neighborhood watch, which turns out to be a total front. Billy and Tommy, they're wreaking havoc on the town.
Well, didn't he discover his powers, like, right there, the fast one?
Speed did, yeah. He's like, oh, you got super speed.
Yeah, and then the other kid, I would say, kind of got a little taste of what was coming.
I think he developed his power towards the end of the episode when he started sensing Vision in
danger. Yeah. So he's not really their father.
No, not at all. There's no what do you call it, biological relation, I would say.
Yeah, there really can't be.
Well, no, he's a robot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hayward, the sword agent, they start to learn that he has, some ulterior motives going on in the background. Lots of different firewalls set up with, to keep people out of, what his actual plans are intended for.
And tracking systems on individuals.
So he actually has a map of the whole city and stuff.
Yeah, and
it looks like there's probably some agents infiltrating Wanda's little, infiltrating the Hex, if you want to say that.
I think he's weaponizing something because he also, like you said,
his intentions are that. I would say that.
Yeah.
And then, so Agnes, not to get ahead or anything like that, but Agnes is actually, I'm gonna say she's in relation to Agatha Harkness, and I know we talked about that a little bit earlier, but you start to see like little callbacks. When Vision was talking to her a little bit, she had a witch costume on, she had that witch laugh. There's definitely some kind of callback to the comics with her.
She thought she was dead too.
Well, yeah, and then not to jump ahead, but she said, "Vision, aren't you? You're an Avenger." And Vision was like, "What is that?"
That was a good part to me.
I thought that was a pretty hilarious part. What did you think about the dead faces on both of them? I know Vision's dead face showed up a lot earlier than Quicksilver's.
I think it shows like the Marvel Zombies kind of mentality because I think they were going to do a show for that like a while back ago. Then things obviously changed, but
that'd be totally crazy.
But I guess my real question is, since that new show is releasing next month, the Bucky show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering what the time frame is. It going to be like right after the show, or I don't think this problem is going to be solved in this season.
I think it has to. I think it has to be directly involved with the show. Potentially, but then also it could be, they could be doing like overseas stuff too and doing their own adventures as well.
But my problem is that I don't know how many episodes are in the season, but I don't see it coming to a nice conclusion.
Oh no, I think we're set up for several seasons.
Yeah, definitely. And WandaVision it's the name of the show, so you think that's her vision for multiple seasons.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, what do you think about Vision kind of navigating through the city, discovering that people are not what they seem to be?
I think the humane side kind of showed in him. I think he saw the suffering and he didn't want to be part of it.
Yeah, he's worried. He's definitely worried. He doesn't know exactly what he's doing there or what she's doing to these people, and I think he's definitely concerned for their safety, I would say.
But he's taking the role where he's playing her, though. He's going to start playing her. Well, actually, no, it's out in the open now, right?
Yeah, it's out. It's pretty much out in the open.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we're toward the end of episode 6 now, but we're talking about how she confronted him once. Oh, no, he got out, and we saw that the reality of it was coming to him, where he's deteriorating.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to push that hex bigger and bigger, because they're in New Jersey.
You see it.
Yeah.
You see it. The hex does grow. In order to protect him, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. But I think she's shown him that, like, you take some of mine, I'm going to take more of yours.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, definitely. I always knew it was going to expand because that's just what happened in the House of M. So it's nice to see some really big payoffs in these last few episodes.
Well, the reason why I asked that, what if it gets pushed to New York?
It's going to get bigger. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't reach that capacity.
Well, I'm just saying that's where a lot of characters are based.
Yeah.
And that's where you would easily pull like a lot of scenarios into, is what I'm trying to say.
Definitely. I mean, we're set up for an epic story here, and it's really a treasure to get to watch, all this play out on screen on a week-to-week basis. It's been really fun. I know a lot of people were kind of down on, WandaVision being so slow on the jump off, but man, it's just paying off big time. This last few episodes is just so exciting.
So what are the predictions for episode 7?
Gosh, man. So I think Monica Rambeau infiltrates the Hex again. She comes back in, probably activates her powers, because she is going to have powers. It's only a matter of time for that. And then, yeah, you're gonna see some resistance from Wanda, of course, and Vision's gonna go back to try to figure out, what the hell's going on.
Mm.
I also would like to see more callbacks to the Young Avengers
Mm.
and the kids. So Wiccan and Speed. And yeah, I just want to see more character development and more story developments.
I definitely think they're gonna pull out some big guns on the next one.
Yeah, any. So you've been pretty spot on with your predictions. So what do you got for us this week?
I say Magneto.
Magneto, man, that'd be big.
Because as soon as I saw that Quicksilver, I was like, all right. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, that would be big.
Yeah, I think because the young actor, I forgot his name, Michael Fassbender, I believe it is. But yeah, he's a great actor, and I think pulling him into it would be the way to do it.
Who do you think builds the vehicle that gets Monica Rambeau back into the Hex?
What do you mean?
Like, so I've been hearing some rumors online about maybe Blue Marvel or some other random people. I don't want to give out too much.
Don't say it. I mean, we're not spoiling things.
Well, just could be Professor X or Mr. Fantastic. I don't know. Just some random rumors about who built the vehicle to get them through the Hex and get
that
her
would
back
be a
into
good
it.
segue for Fantastic Four, and that's what I'm saying. New York, if we got pulled into it, they're
Yeah.
based out of New York.
Yeah. Spider-Man's based out of New York.
Well, I see Spider-Man spiraling into it with the Doctor Strange movie.
Well, he is in. Spider-Man is a major character in House of M.
Well, I think Doctor Strange is going to be a big character in his next movie too.
Yeah.
So I can see where it's going. Like I obviously can see some things.
So the movies coming out like Thor, Love and Thunder. I think that's. What
I think
it's
that's going to
called,
be more on the galaxy side of things.
Well, what I'm wondering is if you think any kind of those anything from those movies is going to be pulled into WandaVision, or are they going to pull anything from?
I just think
WandaVision?
she's going to be the new villain with Kang.
You think so? I see.
I think you said Kang was part of the new Avengers too, right?
Well, yeah, he was Iron Lad, but for a short amount of time. But I don't know if we're gonna get Young Avengers jump off right away.
I wouldn't say that because Kate Bishop has to play her role too.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things that need to happen for that to to become part of Marvel cinema. or Marvel universe or whatever.
Yeah, so
I think we're a long ways away from Young Avengers as a whole for the TV show or whatnot. Again, I'm excited to see that kind of stuff, but I don't think that's part of what we're looking for right now.
Yeah. In other news, though, they're not going to release Black Widow on the streaming. They're holding firm with the theater release.
Yeah, I read that too. I wouldn't be surprised though after a few maybe a few months or something like that, they get back out there and we're able to see it on Disney Plus.
Well, I think her movie is a one-off, though. There's obviously we know what happened to her. I mean, you can't do a prequel of a prequel. You know what I mean?
No.
Like,
and I don't think that there's room for multiple Black Widow movies. I just think she's best off in the Avenger movies.
Yeah, and I think telling her backstory is kind of a one-shot deal.
I completely agree. Yeah, she's best as a team. In the Avenger movies.
Nice. Well, and the one last thing I'd like to bring up, the Joker reveal.
The Joker reveal?
You didn't see the new Jared Leto Joker?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's actually going to get a chance to do this.
How big is his part, though, you think?
I think he's going to be in jail.
You think the whole time?
I think he'll have influence in some of the criminals that they're fighting.
You think he's going to get out, though?
Possibly. It's a 4-hour movie, man. But I just saw the image and I'm like, all right, that's what they kind of should have just came out with, like, in the first place.
Well, yeah, I agree. It would have been great. I'm not a really big fan of Leto's movie, Joker role in the last movies or Suicide Squad. I just thought it's just not something I expected to see from Joker, knowing what I've seen over the years in the comics and the cartoons and all that kind of crazy stuff, and seeing Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson. It just wasn't the expected route I wanted to see DC go. But, change is good. Change is good.
So next week, I think we're gonna do our first movie review as well, right?
Yeah. Hey,
We won't announce it right away because we might.
if anybody out there has any ideas for future episodes or future movie reviews, please send us a message. We're always willing to take into consideration anything you guys want. If you got any questions or anything about the show, or any details you want to add or anything like that, feel free to hit us up on the PMs.
All right. Until next time, Chris.
All right. Hey, thanks for checking us out, the Hunters.